Why, hello, and welcome back to Writers World Radio, episode 36. I shall be your printed host, Matthew Graken. So, going on to moving along here, let's talk about covers. Have you thought about what you're going to do with the cover for your book? Ebook, printed book, whichever. If you're doing it by yourself as an independent author, you need to think about what your cover is going to look like, because you're the one doing it. If you're doing it through a publishing agent or through a publishing house, most likely you got a team of people helping you out. But, of course, you're going to have some input. What do you want on that cover? How do you want it laid out? How do you want it to look? And I'm talking more than just how do you want the title to be presented and where do you want your name on there. And I'm talking more than just, do you want it to have the title on the side? Do you want, a big picture, little picture? What's on that picture? Think about this. The picture itself could be part of the story. It is not just it's not just there to look pretty. It's not just there to, it's just stick a flower on it and it's called a day. No, it is going to help tell the story. In fact, it's some of the earlier parts of telling your story. Most of the time. It depends what you're going for. Let's talk about Catcher in the Rye. Before the movies came out, the original cover of the book was blank. It just had the title. It had the author's name on it. And this was Fitzgerald's actual idea. This was what he wanted it to be. He just wanted nothing. So that way, going into the book, you had no preconceived notions of what the story is about, besides maybe what you read on the back or heard from other people. And no idea. Use your own imagination for the setting, for the characters. You just go by the words that you've written and the imagination in your head and how those translate into each other. Is that something you want for you? Or do you want to use something that's going to tell another element of the story? Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. In all the iterations, for the most part, you usually don't see a picture of the monster, the creation, on the cover. I strike the word monster because if you've read the book, the meaning on that. See, the creature is not on the cover. Usually, it's blank. It's lightning on it. Maybe you see the shadow of a person. So it again expresses the elements differently. My books, myself. For the Gideon series, I usually use a landscape picture of something from New York. Well, besides the first one, I used landscape pictures from New York or a building. For my Janet series, Janet Mystery series, I usually try, and this is where I get a little more creative, I try and pull out a small element of the story and make it big on the cover. For the first one, I did a picture of the ring. Visually attractive, and does have a going significance to the story about the engagement and stuff. The second one, I put a picture of from a cruise ship because it's place kind of where the story takes place for the most part on the cruise ship. Third one, took a little work. I had a friend help me out with this, and we got a picture of a house because one of the main characters or settings of the story is a haunted house of sorts. So it just helps. It helps tell a little bit about that story before you pick it up, and maybe that's what you want to do. If it's an off-world type of situations, try and come up with some sort of science fiction landscaping, or if it's on a spaceship, a picture of a spaceship. Even if it's not the main spaceship, if there's multiple spaceships, maybe put one of them in there as an idea. You can always do characters. A lot of romance books do the characters on it. You see, particularly the heavy romance ones, the exotic books. You'll see a big buff guy standing there with his long blonde Fabio hair flowing, and then you have the damsel just draped alongside him, or you have the woman with her clothes heaving off of her, or completely off of her. There's some of those out there too. Uh, those usually have the people on it. And hey, that's how they decide, that's how they want their covers. But it does seem to be part of the genre. But you step away, kind of saw the romance line. In 50 Shades, she did not put the picture of the characters on there. She used different elements that were found within the stories. Neckties and so forth. And that really helped bring it in, because, okay, why is there a picture of a necktie on there? Kind of the same thing I was going with, like I said, the white glove. I put a picture of an engagement ring. Why is there a ring? And it just opens up the mind to more questions of, okay, thought the description was interesting. Why is this one image on there? It's just a solo prominent image to tell further. Even the Twilight series, 50 Shades of Grey, has solo images. Very metaphorical, though, as far as its relationship to the books. The chess piece, a feather, the petal, and there was something else. So those are more metaphoric into what the story is about, relating to characters in the stories. So think about it. You know, you're gonna put a lot of work into this story. Think about how you want the front of your book, your masterpiece, as it were, because it kind of is. It's not, masterpiece is not just a painting. It is a book too. You know, your painting descriptions and your writing. You spend a lot of time on that. You spent hours, days, months, possibly years writing this, getting it to fruition. Don't forget the cover too, because it all works together. Just like I said way back, episode 1, I was talking about titles. Titles help tell the story, so does your cover. If you feel that you want to leave it with a blank cover, just a solid color, that is fine. That is your decision, and you think that's going to work, help sell what you're working with, go right ahead. I mean, if it's a passionate story, maybe you will go with a bright cover. Or a deep somber story, maybe a blues or a black. Things to think about. So how would you design your cover? What type of suggestions or ideas do you think about whenever you're coming up with the cover art for your cover? Put it in the comments below. Shoot it out on Twitter. Use the hashtag WritersWorldRadio and send it to, or include, at Matthew J. Grayken. Or do it on Facebook using the same hashtag. And it's facebook.com/Matthew J. Grayken. Let's keep these conversations going, keep everything rolling. If you have any suggestions for the show, episode ideas, put them in the comments below as well, or send it out to the Twitter or to the Facebook. Or, all the above, you can email it to writersworldradio@yahoo.com, and I'll get back to you. If you have any suggestions, you need help at all, feel free to reach out to me. You need help designing cover or some cover ideas. You need help coming up with a story or refining a story. So you got writer's block. You need just help talking it out with somebody. Hit me up. Just remember, 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day of writing, and you'll get a lot further than you ever imagined you believe. Stick with it. Stay confident, not only in your work, but stay confident in yourself. You can get this done. You can do it. You will do it. It is within you, and remember, you are the one to tell that story. It is your story. No one else can tell it. And however it turns out, be thankful that you were able to do it. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I hope you're enjoying the lovely month of May now. And I will see you next time.